things to look forward to. You feel like you're doing something useful, and you also have pleasure in your life, excitement with other people, and conversation and sex. I don't want to go further. Like, I want I had, I don't want. That's it. And like, as long as I'm on Earth now, maybe we don't know. Maybe in the next world, if there is one, there is some other dimension. But on this Earth, I'm not going to get to that dimension. Or you say you can through meditation and just that kind of stuff.
Some people kind of cannot live without that dimension. I wonder, even taking something as broad yet particular as the opioid crisis in your country, that we can't allow it to be lost on us that there's a significant proportion of the population that are in so much pain that they need to alleviate it somehow. What is the source of this pain? Now, when you say pleasure, they don't need leading anywhere. But from an evolutionary perspective, we are aware that it is entirely perfunctory. We're aware that eating food feels good in order to mandate that behavior, that sex feels good in order to encourage that behavior. So there is at least facility in it. I wonder sometimes, I ponder the unanswerable. I wonder what is the function of pleasure. And as someone that has, I suppose, gotten myself into, when I say it's not worked for me very well. You know, and that is just, we're obviously different men. And like, one of the things I've been blessed with is I'm pretty non-judgmental actually about the way other people live. I don't, so it's not like I don't care, but I recognise I don't know very much.
You're passionate about what you believe.
Yeah.
And we are different in the sense that you said it, like, you ponder the unponderable. I go, well, that's not ponderable. Pondering. Why am I wasting my time pondering when I could be partying?
This is wasteful pondering.
No, I feel like, was it Freud who said, this work and love. Those are the two things that we have, and I don't go much beyond that. Like, that spiritual dimension, I don't, you mentioned Larry Charles before, and Religulous, and Religulous is not a mean-spirited movie at all. That's why I think it did pretty good, because people didn't see it as an attack on religion. They just said, here's the reality of this, and we're not hating on anybody, but it says, the message of the movie is, I say, I'm from the church of I don't know. I'm not definitive about it. There is not a God. Who the fuck knows? I can't answer the questions that are unanswerable. The difference between a religious person and a non-religious person is we both admit there's these questions. I don't make up stories to answer them because I know there's stories that are made up. So like, when I tell you how the universe began, I cannot, and neither can you. So when you give me your story, I'm just saying, I know people with a faith think that makes them sound some sort of sublime, and all I'm thinking is, well, plainly you heard this story and now you're repeating it. That's really all there is to it. And those things that are beyond us to know while we're on Earth, I just feel like, why masochistically torture yourself trying to figure something that you can't in this life? It's like, I picture somebody there's a wall, they're standing in front of it, they feel like I can just get a little higher, get there and look over the wall, but they don't realize the wall is 1,000,000 miles high. They're not even close to doing that. And yet they're thinking, I can just see a little what you can. So, I think that makes it easy to be not a troubled soul.
Yeah.
Because I don't have one.
That's pretty great. I mean, I really admire that. And I certainly agree that when we contrast what is known with what is unknown, we have to accept that we are dealing with a negligible amount of data, even with the wonders of cosmology and the quantum world. The little that we understand amounts to zero. I suppose we might need to like something.
Can I have that circumcision thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you'd never asked. Do me if you please.
No, for my cigar. And they always put a big fucking thing on the end of it, on these closed cigarettes.
Is that what that is?
Exactly.
A simple closed cigarette. A simple man enjoying a closed cigarette.
I say it every week.
Clubhouse.
I do not know what the equipment is close. But
Because it's effect.
it's so fantastic. Yeah, it's been 20 years for you, huh, mate?
Yeah, 20
You
years.
never just one day out of the blue, you never just go, boy, it would be good to just smoke one joint and be happy. Just pot. I mean, that's a pretty benign. You must have had some good times on pot before it all went sour.
Well, I do actually remember feeling quite, I don't know, I put myself like Mary Poppins, rooting around in my little carpet bag. For my
You didn't leave
services
it on your dick, did you?
I lost my nerve halfway through.
But you are circumcised, right?
No, actually not. Like a lot of English people, I'm very unwilling to chew up any part. I'm clinging on to every millimeter.
It's so gross. I always said it looks like something that lives in the ocean. So you didn't.
Don't you enjoy, well, the thing is, you're denying yourself variety because when you retain the foreskin, there's times where it entirely retracts, retreats, there's other times where it pops out to say hello, you can see like a glimpse of it. Yeah, it gives you, this is a bird, every time I look at my head, so this is messing with your, I like to help people.
Yeah, I mean, we just.
I love this opportunity to help. I live to help.
This is hysterical.
Sorry.
No, I think it's a delightful version of this show. This is really the show, but it's on a very special episode. Russell Brand searches endlessly. It's sort of a metaphor for what we were talking about.
Right.
You're a researcher.
I'm a seeker. I won't stop seeking.
Yes, exactly. Isn't that interesting the way that happened? Do you think that's some kind of cosmic?
Yeah.
You too?
I do. I think I continually will be granted.
What kind of show do you think? What kind of show do you think this is?
All of the carrying in this guy is so pleasure. Oh, I'm in.
Well, I've never had a guy blow me, but if I had to have one, I'd pick you.
That's a really very lovely compliment, and I'm going to be watching out for your media appearances to see if you make notes on this pledge. They don't forget and move on.
How often do you come to America? Or if I was in a bar, you come to America often?
Infrequently.
No, not frequently.
Not these days. I've not been for a while because I don't know if you noticed there's a pandemic recently slowed people down.
But you still like this, don't you?
I'm American. I've got a green card, matter of fact. So it doesn't mean I am American. I'm just
No, I love it that you, you know what, I always say, when you're a sports fan,
is it Mule? What's the Moyle? That's the name of people that do circumcision in the Judaic faith.
And you know something, you want to hear something gross? Of course.
That's why I can't, Bill. I'm surprised I've heard anything else.
Of course.
That's why I can't, Bill. I'm surprised I've heard anything else.
Okay, so sometimes the moil gives the baby herpes.
Well, that's not right, is it?
But
That's not the ceremony.
It's definitely not right. But because this has happened many times, because they have herpes and then they bite, there's a part of it where they bite the penis or something where the penis goes in the mouth. And, I'm all for people doing whatever they want. I mean, again, when I preached against religion, I certainly was never saying, well, you shouldn't be able to. No, of course, you can think any crazy shit you want. But when it leads into bleeding and child abuse, I would even say it's child abuse that when they seek the Buddhists, supposedly we're not religious, we're better than you actual religious people, we're more spiritual. Okay. And yet when the mama dies, they snatch a child who they have defined to be the reincarnation of the recently dead mom. And I've seen a documentary on this. And the mother is weeping. Of course, because they're taking her 2-year-old away. And the child is weeping because he's being separated from his mother. And he has to go to some, monastery because he's the reincarnated mama. And we're going to examine his poop or whatever they do to,
Well, what amounts to, let's face it, I'm not a chick. I'm not a child.
of all, I mean, you have to believe in reincarnation. Now, maybe you do you?
But what I feel like is that once we start to frame the unknowable within the ordinary, using quotidian language to describe the ephemeral, we're in danger of saying stuff that's kind of stupid. And yet we need ceremony, and yet we need ritual. I just would say if the ritual does involve biting off a baby's dick, or snatching a child from its mother, make sure there's no other motive. I'm sure about that.
Yes, because, well said, because religion certainly is known as the biggest pussy scam ever. I mean, everybody's got one. Cops will pull over a pretty girl, and, that's a big thing with cops. And girl, I don't know any pretty girl who doesn't have a story about a cop who tried to fuck them, pull like, hey, you need a ride, or, you need an escort, whatever their shit is. Everybody's got a scam. And, but boy, religion, their scam is, a lot of it is, I'm the prophet, and God told me to fuck all the chicks in the compound. And the Catholics with the little boys.
That's right, they're not particular about genitalia, but sort of equal opportunities. You're right about that. Many a good cult has been ruined.
I'm going to cut off my finger.
Do
You hold it there.
you want me to help with this? Because I don't want
Show me how you,
operate this thing.
Yeah.
Well, what we're taking off the top end of that.
Yes.
That's like a guillotine. Guillotines. That bloody aristocracy holding us back. Robespierre, that crew, just like that.
And what is this thing called?
I guess this is still going to be called the cigar card. Like, your country, cigar card in mine.
How about a mini oil? It works with or a portable moil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mini moil. I like that. Let's go to
mini moil.
Let's go to business.
We brainstormed a few names. We've got a mini moil.
Let's go to. I'm going to use this called the scissors. I don't know what else.
That's not off.
You know,
I
said, if you live long enough, you do everything. And now I can say I used a mini oil, and I have no desire to use it again. I'll stick with the scissors.
What is your heritage? Heritage is the link between your Mexican heritage and contemporary Mexico. Arriving in Mexico has
Someone asked me recently if I wasn't a comedian, a political talk show host, or a podcaster, what business would I start? I don't know, maybe open an animal rescue shelter or a dog-friendly strip club, or are weed trucks legal yet? Whether you're starting a new business or growing one, if you want it to be successful, you need the most talented people on your team. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/random. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds highly qualified candidates for a wide range of roles. If you see somebody you like who'd be perfect for your job, ZipRecruiter lets you send them a personal invite, so they're more likely to apply. Shows on television.
I don't know this show because I would just marry more Rococo.
Writers, psychologists, as well as some of the.
Now you were talking about reincarnation. You were talking about
Succession on HBO Max, and check out HBO Succession podcast on HBO Max and wherever you get your podcasts.
Now you were talking about reincarnation. You were talking about a lot of the sort of more Rococo aspects of that work.
Rococo, yes.
So yeah, because it is quite austere and stringent, and not saying that there's God necessarily and all this stuff, but we are following a movement of smoke to define over on this show because I would disparage anybody's religion. It's definitely something coming, but I suppose and I would disparage any and all this stuff, but we are following a movement of smoke to define over on this show because I would disparage anybody's religion. It's definitely something coming, but I suppose what my spiritual beliefs amount to is a kind of benign intent towards one another and the potential for an ulterior realm, i.e. that all apparent separateness emerged at some point from unity, and that is underwritten by the most rudimentary explanation of the Big Bang. All of the matter and phenomena was held within a
What do you think about the Big Bang?
But as Terence McKenna said, give us one free miracle and we'll explain the rest. That what precedes this. And it's a glory, it's obviously demonstrable for the matter, but it doesn't solve a lot. It doesn't solve the problem for the Tuesday before the Big Bang.
Well, I mean, also, look, people who I really think are way smarter than me, I know they are, about this subject, which I am very limited in astrophysics. Okay, that's just not my area.
Let's get into this.
I know the basics, but just the real basics. But I fully believe Neil deGrasse Tyson knows this stuff on a level that I cannot understand. So I really, my point is, as someone who's not religious, I'm also just taking this on faith, because when you go into what the Big Bang is, that everything in the universe fit into something as they could fit into your mini one.
That's right. We could snip that. Maybe that's what caused it.
And let's go into what is fitting into something the size of a quarter. Okay, imagine the Earth being so compacted that it could fit into a quarter. Now, if I just said the whole Earth could fit in, you'd be like, that is so ridiculous. Okay, now let's add all the other planets and our sun and say they could fit in there. Oh wow, now you're really stretching it. Okay, but it's not just our planets and our sun, it's all the planets and all the suns. So we're talking about trillions of stars, maybe trillions of galaxies, certainly hundreds of billions of galaxies, all fitting in something that small. Now that does sound as ridiculous as God said to his child, son, I'm going to go send you down to Earth, and I've knocked up this Palestinian woman. She's going to have you, and then you're going to die and come back to life. Now, I don't believe that happened. But the other one about the Big Bang is almost as silly, unless you're an astrophysicist.
Similarly, they require a curtailing of inquiry. At some point, you have to stop investigating, or you go, well, that doesn't make sense. What reality? What is the nature of consciousness? How does consciousness emerge from biochemical processes? Why is Newtonian physics falling apart in the quantum realm? Everything that we understood to be right. Why is matter mostly space? And what I'm saying is that in the end, through brinkmanship, you find we mostly agree people love one another, all of those things, and there's a wide focus on the points of distinction, really, when you agree on what appears to be the most fundamental aspects of it. But for me, the idea that what we are honouring is non-separateness, the glory of diversity and individuality, the kind of the sort of ever-expanding fractal nature of our reality, all of this wonder, all of this awe, and somehow is it relevant to the way we organise our systems of power or not? What are we going to do? Because once you extract the possibility of unity, once you extract the possibility that love has some value, some resonance, and is perhaps in fact the felt experience of oneness. Are you pouring that? I know what it is.
I want to. No, it doesn't matter. Continue. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I want to hear it.
Finish
this thought. It's just, yes, I forgot that this was the soda.
I said,
all right, then as long as you stop, I'd like to make this point about, I feel like when religion is ethical, it's coincidental. I'm not saying it's not, religion can't be, but it stumbles upon it like almost haphazardly. The Bible, the Ten Commandments, most of them have nothing to do with what we call ethics or morality. The top four are just about God being jealous.
Actually, you differ. I've got an interesting perspective once on the Ten Commandments. If you consider them instead of edicts, and I know that the name commandment suggests this. I'm just commanded to do that. Ignore that. How I like to look at it is, if you consider when you are enlightened, you will not steal, you will not kill. And as for the point of worship no other gods than me, all of us engage in idolatry. What I believe the point that is being made is, if you do not find God if you do not find your own God, which could be love, which could be America, which could be nature, which could be abundant and limitless things, if you do not find that, then everything is potentially God. Your lust suddenly is God. Your desire for entertainment is your God. Greed is your God. You shall worship no other gods than me. And this God is see, supplication for me, Bill, is not just about supplication so that you could be organised into a lovely little flock. It's about it's the first system that you need to combat is the self. The self. If I can't overcome my ego, then I will live that is my God. That's how I take it.
I get that. You're right.
What's complicated?
What is that? Your new American
Your American character.
But you're being very charitable to the author of the Ten Commandments, who lived in the Bronze Age and did not have your flowery interpretation. It's nice that you can put that on it. I mean, yes, that's a lovely way to interpret it. It's not what he meant. What he meant is there's a man in the sky.
It's difficult, isn't it, for us to discern what as it went through Aramaic to Greek to King James Version.
Think like that back then. They didn't know what germs or atoms. They were scared. They believed in gods in a very real way. I've studied the Bible. I took a course on it at Cornell. The Bible, they definitely were not making them. This was not metaphorical. It was not.
No. I think that if you look at that book as literal, then I feel that its value is limited. And I think most articles of faith bear the inflection of the culture that they were produced by, necessarily and understandably. But what I would say about my obviously limited understanding of hermeneutics is that people appear in the desert faiths to be aspiring to some kind of unity. Now, I know there's stuff in there that's somewhat at odds with our modern take on reality, but I also would call you up on, this was only a couple of thousand years ago, 10,000 years ago, we were basically the same pre-agriculturally. For hundreds of thousands of years, we lived in little tribal societies, organised around manageable relationships. Our nearest ancestors, the primates, when they lived in communities of 70, 80, they split. And I think there's so much to be learned from the values that preceded civilization as we understood it, particularly in a time like this of fracture, of nihilism. So I'm not dismissive of any of that documentation, not least because how do these myths survive? Because you can make somewhat cynical arguments about that Protestant succeeded in Northern Europe because it deified the work ethic, so it was like a good way of it.
I wanted a marketing degree, but juggling work and school is tough. WGU doesn't have set login times. I take courses when I want. An accredited marketing degree, I can get on my schedule. I choose WGU.
People into the grind, useful for agriculture, useful even when the Industrial Revolution took place. But just because of the utility, I don't feel that we can be dismissive of it. And also, Bill, the challenge that's left for me is once we exclude the spiritual part, we are left with post-Enlightenment rationalism. And what that seems to lead to is the reverence for the individual. Celebration only of the primal urges and the primal desires and that which can be measured.
And believing excessively in spirituality and things of a beyond the realm of earth mode leads to flying planes into buildings and lots of other horrible things.
But I don't think there's counter argument to all of that. But really, those things are about dominion and territory.
Once you let them move off the ground, once you take off the blocks and let your mind just go completely free up in the air with nothing to tether it, then it's very easy to go from I love my God to, you have a different God, I really should kill you.
But it is not true in the post-Westphalian Treaty age of nation. I love my nation, so therefore I don't like your nation. I mean, what is the distinction between religious ideology and nationalistic ideology when it comes to the boots on the ground and the drones in the sky? we're killing you rationally at a distance. Sorry about that wedding we bombed. And this, and then
We were gonna bring in the Treaty of Westphalia.
which the treaty was waiting on table, Bill.
I believe it was 1648,
I believe it was that
and I believe it
was 12 minutes before 5.
I believe it followed the defenestration of Prague, where they threw him out the window, where we get the word defenestration.
Well, bingo. How'd you go?
And it's, that word has now come back into vogue, not just because Putin does it literally, but it's a word that people use when they're talking about someone being canceled. He was defenestrated, which is great, because it's from French, the fenêtre, window, so to throw something out, it's yeah. But I wanna know, who is this guy, hermeneutics? No,
Nice. That's old school, man.
I don't know that word.
Hermeneutics means a literary set of books around a particular faith. The hermeneutics, this is the canon of a particular religious set of
Like the
ideals.
Quran plus the,
There's the Islamic hermeneutics, Christian hermeneutics, the set of documents that underwrite a particular faith.
have you studied like in their original? I mean, you seem so interested. He must read a lot.
I try to do that.
But a third grader says, of course you could know it.
All of the squiggles.
Like, how much do you say would you read a day? And do you read books, like actual books? Because that's gone out of style. But I'm gonna stick up for books.
Yeah, I do, and I sort of have I suppose what I have, like most autodidacts, is sort of shallow knowledge in a variety of areas. I've not been educated, so
Cocktail party knowledge, would you say?
that's what I've got, except
That's what I feel
for,
like I have.
except for when I've had to legitimize my solipsism. There I have stumbled. Like, so when it comes to why am I like this? Why do I feel this way? What are other people
Exactly.
feel like?
And do you think that politics is an extension usually just of a personality we're born with? I feel like you were arguing with John on the show, and it's so funny that people, they have a lot of trouble, like, following your politics, because it doesn't follow the neatly cleaved divisions that we're in.
Yeah.
Like, you'll go after MSNBC, and it's not because you're a fan of Fox News.
No.
No, I mean, it's kind of like to the left of that. So, or there's not in anywhere that you couldn't say, oh, that's left or right. It's just how you see it. I feel like I do this exact same thing, and people, they don't like it when someone doesn't have a team, or a lot of people don't. The people who do like it, they like this a lot. But a lot of people just can't get there because we don't have a team, and we can't predict what our take on something is going to be.
That's right.
And that is, I know it sounds like we're clapping ourselves on the back, but I mean, it's also just true. That is so lacking.
I think it's been great what you've done, having the chats with the people on the conventional right. If we're not going to have these conversations, what the hell's going to happen?
Those people are not self-supporting. Well, it's half the country. You have to talk. You know what I mean? When you look at the internet and all that kind of shit, it's always this, we own them, or we're gonna own them, or like somebody said did something that they don't, stupid or not up to par. They got owned, they got destroyed. It's like all this language that keeps people up to think that they can, that the answer to the thing when you don't agree with somebody, and there's all these people I don't agree with, of course, is to destroy them.
Yes.
Especially when I'm 67 years old, like their big thing is if they don't like something I say, it's just they don't attack the argument itself. It's just you're old. As if that's an argument. It's like, yeah, exactly. That's why I know some shit, and you're making a dumb argument. Or not even fighting an argument.
I will say, even on this point, that when we're talking about anthropology and how societies might organize, how families and tribes might organize, the annihilation of the category of the elder is in error. When you're chatting to Bernie Sanders on the show, I'm thinking, these guys have been around longer than me, they know stuff I don't know, a vast array of things, and now maybe I will learn something if I shut up for a minute. Perhaps you notice that I talk a little less in that moment. And I have regard and reference for that, and both as part of because of my personal practice of how I might learn more and how I treat people, but also because in other areas where it might be easier to enter into conflagration and conflict, I feel that it's vital. Like I saw the other day, after the release of the Capitol Hill Jan 6 stuff to Fox News in particular, Tucker Carlson, in a British newspaper, The Guardian, like he said, like I started reading it about, I actually walked in to do it, and I regret that I did. And it sort of said, like, you know, they released documents, you know, from McCarthy to the far right TV presenter, I got my far right. I mean, I don't know, like, you know, it used to be like even in your like country, but that, you know, you have people in your family that are Republican and Libertarian and people that are lefties and whatever,
Right.
we all just crack on a chat at Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Not like far right. I mean, if far right, that means that that's a haircut, that's boots.
Right.
You know, you're not like to be far right because you're a traditional conservative
Well,
person.
I don't know if you saw this, but when the Italian Prime Minister Meloni was elected,
Oh.
okay, so we never really got to it on time. I wanted to, I guess we ran out of time, but like the papers were like, they were apoplectic. Fascism was coming back to,
Yeah.
and they could not stand this. And like, my position was, I don't follow Italian politics that much. I've read some of their statements. It doesn't sound like fascism to me. It sounds like things that we've heard people in this country on the right, you know, it's a lot about we need to, like, not forget our roots and traditional stuff like family. And, you know, I understand why there's a backlash to some of the shit that's going on. It wasn't particularly, I'm a mother and I'm proud to be a mother. Okay, it's a fighting word. So, and also, I wanted to make the point because they kept saying, well, her party has fascist roots. So did the Democrats. They were the party of slavery, okay, and Jim Crow. The Democrats, and they outgrew it. So like to put that on her, that, you know, the roots. Yes, all our parties are roots. We all grow from corrupt places. And now I think she's invited to the White House. And again, I don't know who this broad is. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying the immediate, like, hair trigger, oh my God, the world has ended. Italy has elected a fascist. It's just the kind of thing that makes me go, I don't trust you in the media. I just don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
There's some truth in that, but it's your narrative. I think they call it something like, I don't know, some kind of journalism now, where it's an advocacy journalism, where it's like, we're not even trying, we're not even proposing that we're neutral on this and just going to tell you what happened and give you the fact. We're going to inject our advocacy into the front page. We're used to reserve it for the opinion page.
I feel that the terrifying truth might be that the liberal establishment has been co-opted by the very interest that in the Bush-Cheney era we've understood to be Republican. It's been co-opted by military-industrial complex interests. It's been co-opted by pharmaceutical interests. It's been co-opted by financial interests, and they are simply unable to have the conversation about why there is not a political party that represents the interests of ordinary Americans. But when they started them saying on your show that it's, you know, like, who is the affiliate party of ordinary working Americans now, like more people say, and the current thing is happening in our country. It seems that there has been a sort of professionalization, if I dare offer such a term, of both the media class and punditry and politics more generally, and there's a kind of distaste for what you're trying to get at with the Brexit argument. They don't like ordinary people, and the only way to mask that is, I think, by rightly honouring important issues around identity and excluded cultural groups. That's conversations that need to be had. And I think they know that those conversations need to be had, but I think they're only willing to have those conversations because they recognise that you cannot bring to the table anymore an agenda that will affect the interests of the powerful. Like he said, they were bought out by the same financial interests that we conventionally associate with. Obviously, in the efforts of war, you can't talk about peace, you can't talk about diplomacy, you have to vilify and reduce every narrative. Zelensky's a hero, Putin's a monster. So that's not a world that I live in.
Well, wait a second. Zelensky is a hero and Putin is a monster.
Facts about California energy policy. California shut down about 25% of local oil production in the last 4 years, and now imports 75% of the oil we use, mostly from foreign countries, resulting in even higher gas prices for working families. Learn more.
Hi, we're Visible, the wireless company who thinks you should only need you to save. No families, no random roommates, just you. Because with Visible, you get one line of unlimited data for just $25 a month. Taxes and fees included. Switch now. Offer it soon.
Well, the Panama paper suggested that Zelensky, like a lot of Ukrainian politicians, has some interesting business dealings. And they rejected the Minsk agreement. And there was a peace deal on the table, and the West lobbied Zelensky not to take that peace deal. So said the former Israeli Prime
Because
Minister.
this country got invaded illegally. I mean, I can't, I don't know why you're.
Well, I'll say, Bill, because of the ever since the fall of the Berlin Wall, there's been encroachment on former Soviet territory. That there was a NATO-inspired coup in 2014, and that there are significant profits to be made. It's the same in a sense. Look, I'm not for this. I feel a lot more comfortable about
Coup in 2014?
the 2014 coup in Ukraine that was backed by US interests.
Why would we back a coup that gave Crimea to Putin? Well, they lost Crimea in 2014, Ukraine,
The ongoing action, I think,
right?
Bill, to say that this is a humanitarian war that as an inadvertent side effect can create all this opportunity for profiting for the military-industrial complex is as naive as suggesting that the pharmaceutical industry will keep good on their pledge to not profit from the pandemic. I'm not entering into the territory, like geopolitics is bloody complicated. Putin is clearly a former KGB hardcore dictator style politics, but I think that when we extract the American unipolar agenda, the idea that there can be a global hegemony, that America want to destabilize Russia. Like, I think if you don't include that in the conversation, that what you get is a limited conversation.
We don't want to destabilize Russia. We were hoping after the Berlin Wall fell, and then 2 years later, Russia, the Soviet Union fell. We were hoping Russia would become, one of the nations of the world that joined the family of Western democracies. There's no reason why they couldn't have democracy. They sort of gave it a go, but it was, obviously the past was so corrupted that the future was not going to be untainted either. And then we did make mistakes. I would agree with this, which you probably, I'm thinking of the direction you're going in. I don't think we should have kept rolling NATO. First of all, why NATO if there's no Soviet Union?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying we should have necessarily disbanded NATO, but instead of getting more, strong NATO, more countries, it should have been like, okay, we're saying that the Cold War is over, so why do we need an organization that's against you?
Yeah.
That was a terrible message to send, and I think that set things off. They may have gone to shit anyway. I mean, Russia is a tough place, and the people, have been brutalized by communism, which is horrible for the soul, not to mention the pocketbook. But, yeah, go ahead.
Can I give you a bunch of facts? Because then you could riff on them, because I'd love to see your take on these facts that come from our content on our show. Like, our research gleaned from some great journalists, and it's mostly okay to say this kind of meta journalism. We accumulate facts, we don't use anything that's not been endorsed in mainstream media, hit you up with some of this stuff, and because I genuinely want to give you a takeaway. Let me give you the whole thing as an overview, and then you can, as Bill Barr, because let's face it, no one else can do this. Okay, so former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said recently a Russia-Ukraine peace deal was blocked by Western powers. We know that Boris Johnson visited Ukraine and counseled Zelensky against taking the peace deals on table. That's just one thing. Let me give you all this stuff. Zelensky is about to retake Crimea, but Russia said that's the red line that will spark nuclear war. We know that, all right? Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell said in December 2022, the most basic reasons for continuing to help Ukraine degrade and defeat the Russian invaders are cold, hard, practical American interests. Then they are just wider this out there. The Pentagon spent $40 trillion after 9/11, 55% of it went to for-profit defense contractors. The average American taxpayer contributed $2,000 to the military last year, more than 900 of that went to corporate military contractors. At least 15 politicians who shaped US defense policy have investments in military contractors. Military contractors split their checks more or less evenly between Democrat and Republican candidates last year. And Biden appointed a former BlackRock MD to the cabinet, in particular to sort out the post-Ukrainian reconstruction.
Stop.
Physical facts.
These are facts, possibly, I don't know the fact checker here, I don't doubt
You're
it.
not gonna need one.
Wait, but it's so far from the point, I mean, I feel like your antenna for conspiracy theories, I mean, you have a good antenna, and then sometimes, it does not serve you well, because, like, even if all this stuff is true,
Yeah.
it's just more complicated than that, and both things can be true. It can be something that is a worthy endeavor to stop Russia from invading another country, and it also could be the case, it is the case, of course. People in the defense industry are looking to keep having reasons to make weapons and so forth. There are people who absolutely have a vested interest in war. Those are what your facts are saying. It doesn't mean, even if all that is true, and I would agree, there are people who have a vested interest in war. That doesn't mean, logically, it doesn't mean that every war is because of that.
I would
Wars
offer
can
this.
also be for another reason, and then these people go
Absolutely.
along to that. It's called the shock doctrine, when you take advantage.
Yes.
When you take advantage
Yes.
of a crisis.
Yes.
It's going on, but it also could be the case that the war is a valiant endeavor.
I'm not excluding that.
That's why they bombed Ukraine to nothing, I mean,
Yes.
it's a very valid question now to ask.
And what I'm saying is, do you think it's a coincidence that the mainstream media only reports on one aspect of this conflict? It only gives one narrative. I'm obviously not in a look at my D&T channels. I'm not in an opinion. T-shirt, I'll never take an opinion on this. But what I will say is that sometimes when you talk about antenna, like, this is what I'm thinking, like, this war in Ukraine is motivated by a genuine and legitimate need to rightly and correctly support Ukrainian people who are under attack and suffering because of a war. Because when I've been looking at it, I noticed how often humanitarianism is the motivation of the military industrial complex. So it's like, who can we help now? Who can we help now? And wouldn't it be great if we had a system like, just to make sure that there is no other motivation, there can be no profit extracted from this conflict. That the aid of it will not end up in Croatia, not King Martin, Norfolk Brothers, VA system.
Okay.
Like, so as long as that is one of the possible reasons, is it the most likely reason?
Well, again, now I feel.
I'm not talking about
I feel like now we're just making, like, you made your point, and I made mine, and now it's we're repeating ourselves, because, like, I'm just gonna say again, and it sounds like you didn't hear me, like, both things can be true. It's just.
No, but yes, it is. It is at one time, so let's get a hero. And I'm like, well, hang on, what about this shit? Because do you think, like, how long do you think for the next year to get support? So you think to merge with the MIC?
Throwing your hands together like, oh, on one hand, yeah, Putin is a murderer who puts in big window windows and starts wars and does all these crimes against humanity. And this guy has some shady business dealings. He's Ukrainian. He was born with a shady business dealing. I mean, that's what the country was known for before this. But, okay, let's not, I went.
About that.
Yeah, we made
You're
it.
actually gonna take shots.
So,
I'm gonna do that.
I just want to know, does that look like more than a shot?
But I'd say that's a generous shot.
But it's a shot glass, so why are they trying to get me drunk? I'm just gonna go a little. But I suddenly realized, I'm trying to think, it was in my mind, what is his accent that it amuses me so much? It just, your accent is exactly the accent that Eric Idle uses in Monty Python, but he's playing the dumb guy.
Boy!
Red. You know? What did the Romans ever do?
Even that is insult in that.
No,
It's more
no, it's a compliment because there's a contrast of how bright you are with that character who is not. You sound a lot.
It's because I'm from Essex, which is the New Jersey of my country. This is the the dirty
You
little
know what I'm talking about?
across the
That
Atlantic.
voice that he does.
Yeah, of course I do. But what I'd say I would offer you as a Monty Python aficionado and devotee is it's more like Holy Grail. It's like, oh, go away, it's the impression of the system. But Michael Palin is like, oh, how did Christopher? Who made you king? I think we're in a narco syndicate. That's
That movie.
yeah, they're
I
great.
watch it every year like the Wind of Love. It's just first of all so funny. It's like just funny. And then the points they were making, they're so prescient. There's one where he wants to be a woman. I want to be known as a reg.
What's the point if I feel like that, mate?
You've always gone your own way, and we say, never stop. Men's Warehouse, from York.
There's a time when I thought that this was it, you know, family, everything. You like searching. You're lost.
This will come to no good.
I did not do it. Bad people.
He's reincarnated babies. Where's the he's gonna just like you're keep it in a box?
I mean, that's like some really good when it first came last year because of all that kind of stuff that's going on.
This is, I suppose, why my true ideology, my true religion is comedy, because the ability to continually refer to isn't this bloody ridiculous. None of us know anything. We're all going on a show, for God's sake. It's a mess. My life's a mess. I don't know. I want to know how to solve the conflict in Ukraine. I don't know what we're going to do about the influence of corporations on American government. I don't know. The truth is, I don't know. It's bloody ridiculous. And, you know, like happy because of it. I think this is why we are seeing, do you agree, the emergence of comedic commentary in the political space. Like maybe it began with you, John Stewart, that kind of stuff. Before you got Carlin, Kicks.
And what's different, yes, I mean, there was always some of that. What's different is that what I was doing when we started was something that they said could never work, which is having the host also render an opinion. The other guys, like Johnny Carson, never did that. It was like, no, you'll alienate half the audience. And my theory was, no, they can like you if they don't agree with you. And in the 30 years since I started, that's almost completely switched.
Yeah.
Because now, to survive, like in a late night American talk show, you have to just be preaching to that liberal audience, which is, you know, mostly what I would agree with too, but it's like, it's so indoctrinated. And it's so like, we all agree that this is the premise, like Valadez a fascist, that's a perfect example. We all read it in the New York Times, and now that's what, or somebody read it for us, and told us, and now the Italians are taken over by the fascists. And like, no attempt to like look under the surface or find a different point of view or just, and so just stuff that will make people clap in the audience because this is what my team believes. This is, you know, ivermectin is horse medicine or whatever it is. You know, I think that you brought that up today, and like that was a really good example. I mean, they absolutely did like, it's ivermectin, it's a drug, it's not a politician. How you can like, the way that in this country, like, you just knee-jerkingly take a very obstinate side of an issue that says, what are you talking about? Either it works or it doesn't. Doctors prescribe it to humans. It's not, maybe it helps and maybe it doesn't. Maybe like some drugs help some people and not others. Well, that to me is that's the most insane thing, that this becomes like, you are a witch because you clicked it or you are, you know, a genius. It's not that dramatic.
That I found most helpful on this subject was written by a former CIA analyst called Martin Gurry, who wrote a book called The Revolt of the Public. He had a apolitical role within the CIA. That's how he describes it, as a data analyst. He says that in 2001, this is presumably a fact, as much information was published that year as in all human history up to that point. And in 2002, because the advent of the internet, so in 2002, the amount of information doubled again. And then every year since, the amount of information published has doubled. He said that when you looked at it on a graph, it looked like a tidal wave, and it had the kind of impact that a tidal wave will have. Information is being generated and created. You can't generate a central narrative and not have it challenged in the same way that you could 50 years ago. Now, a single journalist or individual with a phone can create content that can be seen by millions and millions of people. As soon as a narrative emerges, there's a counter-narrative, there's a counterpoint. Like our discussion there about Ukraine. Again, I'm not like, these are not now non-facts for me. These are discussion points that ought to be included in the mix when you're talking about something that's potentially essentially has nuclear Armageddon. You want to make sure that you consider all of the facts and that you have a media that isn't so beholden to centralized interests that it's not including all of the facts. He said, I agree, that what he says about that, he goes, I believe in liberal democracy. That's what I believe. This guy is not a radical. But what he's saying is that he said he's first with Napster, then the Arab Spring, then the Occupy movement, that the potential of disruption became so sort of ravenous and potent that they had a choice to make. Even we're going to have to alter the way that power operates, except that there are numerous publics, numerous spheres, numerous perspectives that people hold very dearly, or we're going to have to double down on authoritarianism. How is it that the Democrat Party, the shrine of liberalism, social liberalism, open-mindedness, investigation, became the party of authoritarianism? The argument, of course, Bernie Sanders made all the economic arguments, but he's just more broadly and beyond these political distinctions between the two parties, is you now have to double down. And even taking in your late night talk show thing, is like, that's over now. They've got their audience. So Public Right got their audience, the Democrat left got their audience, play to your audience, count the money. But what has changed?
For proper perspective, I would hope you would concede that the greatest threat has come out of America as far as falling into authoritarianism. It came from Trump claiming that he did not lose an election, he claimed they lost, and getting a giant chunk of his party to go along with that. That is the threat to authoritarianism. Other threats do exist, including some from the left. They are not nearly on that level.
I may say, don't you think it's a great threat that whoever wins an election, the changes, as we discussed on your show, are not going to be significant enough for most people? But that's the real threat. The reason that most of the lobbying money is split 50-50 is because they're perfectly fine with either party getting in.
I've been hearing this for I don't know, since I was a teenager.
Right.
Well, no, I haven't told you yet. Let me tell you first. Don't jump your cue. I've been hearing since I was a kid that, why don't people get in the streets? Things are so horrible. And it's like, I finally realized, because for probably a majority, but certainly a great preponderance of people in America, life just isn't this unremitting nightmare. And so, yes, as a liberal, do I believe for the people who life is a nightmare, we should constantly be working harder to make it so it's not for them? Yes, I do. Am I willing to give a big chunk of my money? And I do. To alleviate that misery, that we're all kind of in this together, and it's not cool if some people are really suffering. Yes, I do. But the reason why birdies don't get elected, and there isn't people in the streets all the time, is there's people that on a very basic level, they get it that maybe America is actually still better than most places we could be, and I'm not really doing that bad. No one's actually starving. We have lots of problems, and there are homeless on the streets and lots of shit. But I get up every day. I fucking do what I want. I have material goods. The toilets work. Yes, it's a mess in a lot of ways, but am I going in the streets? No. I've got a meeting tomorrow for something for my business, because this is still a country where I can start a business and I can reinvent myself. That's a lot of what people like about America. Is that face you're giving me because of the smoke, or because of what I'm saying? I guess it's what I'm saying. It's such a bad face you have. It was like I smell a fart face. It was just awful. And especially since I'm so bright.
No, it's because
Sklepy symptom to relax in. No hagas tus taxes. Conecta con el experto querido. ¿Qué lo será por ti? Así puedes hacerlo. Gracias. Y tú lo
What is your heritage? Heritage is the link between your Mexican heritage and contemporary Mexico. It's arriving in Mexico as soon as you're on the plane. Heritage is knowing that the salsa sí pica, even when they say no pica. It's having endless reasons to travel to Mexico in the most technologically advanced streets. Your heritage is the best part of Mexico because no matter where you were born, a part of you will always feel Mexican. Fly to the Mexico you love. I am Mexico.
I think it's a kind of despondency and despair and a kind of castration of the spirit. That's what I think is that people, by and large, don't believe. And I think that the phenomenon of Trump could be regarded differently. I'm not talking about the sort of the contested elections because my personal perspective is it doesn't actually matter who gets in for a significant number of people. And I'm sure you're right when you're talking about like, the professional class or coastal folk or most people that enjoy the academics that I've been afforded over my lucky little life. But I also believe that I read a good book by a man called Mark Fisher, who sold it in Safest, and thank you for saying that. He wrote a book called Capitalist Realism and said that on one hand he believes that the great triumph of capitalism has been that we can no longer envisage a system beyond it. He said, famously, it's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism. People aren't even willing to imagine that there's a possibility of enforcing corporate and state interests.
Because capitalism works for a great deal of people. That's why it's popular. The same way, like, stereo became popular. Like, it could have stuck to a mono, but we were like, you know what? This is actually better. It kind of works. It doesn't lose something. I guess that's why they keep putting albums back out in mono, and I'm like, I don't know, why don't you just put them back on 78s for fuck's sake? Why are you going backwards? Or the kids, they like vinyl, like, you know, I have my own vinyl. It's like, please, enjoy listening to shitty sounding records that are scratchy.
I would say in a way, people are on the streets. People have been on the street, not in enormous numbers, protesting for an end to current conflicts. The Black Lives Matter protests, and obviously the movements around Donald Trump, and the movements around Musk, and the trucker protests, and all of the agricultural protests in Germany and Sri Lanka and Holland, all around the world. People are protesting.
Do you know a lot of people who have been in protests or in the streets? Because I don't know anybody. I mean, it's just like, it just like, people were sympathetic, maybe it's because I'm older and people my age to, you know, go out and do anything. But go to the fucking street and go to a restaurant. It's amazing how ageist this country is.
Well, what I need to say is that there are significant protest movements, but I think what there is a clear lack of a real vision. But probably since Clinton and Blair onwards, no one is suggesting anything other than the management of decline, kind of intimate bureaucracies where we biometrically measure and manage our own health. No one's saying we could do something fantastic in America. Rhetorically, of course, great claims are made by either side, but no one's suggesting that we could reorganize society. No one's anticipating what the AI revolution is about to behold, the loss of jobs, the despondency, and that is likely to engender. And we were sort of seeing a return to feudalism in that beautiful film, The House I Live In. The great writer of that show, The White, said, you know, when it comes to the opioid crisis and the addiction crisis in your country, he said, look, why don't we just admit that in a post-manufacturing America, we've got no need for 20% of the population. They're redundant now, they can lose them. And sometimes I think it comes down to simple demographics, that this nation can carry a good many deeply dissatisfied and unhappy people, and by God, it looks like it is. But look, if this ain't nothing, all of this conflagration that's going on in this country, mostly it's seemingly housed around the cultural war. I think they're quite happy for people to quibble and quarrel and law, because ultimately that doesn't affect the interests of the kind of the elite establishment interest that I'm interested in addressing, and that Bernie is trying to address. And I don't think this, but it seems as during the conversations that I've had with some former Democrat Party presidential candidates, that party almost consciously, deliberately, and explicitly decided they would rather have Trump win than win themselves with Bernie. I'd like to put that to you, because for me, that
okay, I will answer that, but I will answer it first in this way. Can I just take this conversation, same topic, but a little more toward the pedestrian diagonal. I mean, I know you intellectuals, you know.
What do you mean intellectuals? I just told you I'm from the New Jersey.
I know.
I make a city.
You think like an intellectual. I mean, it's because that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, let's go to daily life and see if daily life matches with your theory of life. Because, like, as you go through your day, now maybe I live in a charmed
Of
world.
course you do. Of course I do.
I don't think I live in such a charmed world where I go to an office, you know, I see people who work, they're not all like making giant salaries. One person that trip is, I'm not gonna say who. But this my ex feels very generous. It's a good job. It's a good job. We all do it. I get to say I'm the same as that. Like, oh, there it is. Like, oh God, I know what I'm tired of. I gotta keep working and we work. We all do our best. And I don't think they're unhappy. And then if I go out and get coffee somewhere, you know, if they're a waiter or like even the guy who's like the valet guy, they don't seem miserable. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna try. They're like, you know, they're living their life. Like when I was in my 20s, I was poor. I got it. Like, you know, I'm working my way up, and there is opportunity, and there's stumbles along the way, and there's lots of problems, and we should keep working on them. But it's like, I don't know if it's gonna get better by being massively rewriting human nature, which is impossible, or the way the world is constructed. I think people who are selfish, I think you have to always factor that in. Anytime you're developing any kind of economic system, people are selfish. And they will go toward what makes their life better. Hopefully not at the cost of somebody too much, but sometimes, you know.
You believe in enlightened self-interest. I also don't feel you for a misanthrope. I don't feel that at the heart you believe that people are bad. Because at the core of my ideology is not even a begrudging, but an optimistic love of humanity. And my belief, Bill, is that if we enshrine, elevate, celebrate, and if possibly even legislate the higher principles of our nature, compassion, kindness, service, unity, a willingness to sacrifice. And this is where it does get personal, because I have to ask myself, what are you willing to give up, Russell Brand, in order to live in a fairer world? And I'm not just talking about taxation, because by the way, after like to be a millionaire entertainer, we're talking about billionaire offshore corporations with unprecedented power that make the Carnegies and the Rockefellers look like sort of quaint little guys with Jackson dimes.
But I feel, my guess is that you
Customer has 11 minutes. Please hold. You are now connected.
Hi, this is Dylan.
Hi, I want to see what my future holds.
Can you say that again?
I want to know what my future holds.
Okay. Is there a specific topic or category or area that you want to?
Relationship.
Okay, relationship. Let me take a look for you. 1 second. Just shuffling the cards, picking up the energy. Let you know what I see. second. Okay, so I do see the star card here. This energy is about fulfillment. It's actually known as wish fulfillment. It's a very positive energy. So I do really feel as though that this is referring to manifestation. You know, whatever it is that you have on your psyche, your consciousness, whatever you're focusing in on is what you're pulling in. Now, the thing about manifestation is that it's never going to be on your timeline for the most part. So the key here is to make sure that you are constantly kind of watering that seed and growing that plant of whatever it is that you're aspiring to attract or pull into your life. Now, I do see the King of Swords. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been in a relationship for the last 7 years, and now I'm kind of strange, and now he's been around with Christmas that I don't care for.
You said he's with the person that you don't care for?
Well, me and my partner have been together for 7 years. When we first got together, we were got to Sandy, we checked on one of his friends. Well, one of his friends was drunk, and because of me tell me doing something that needs to be. And my husband eventually not with us. He quit talking eventually after the guy had pulled more shit on him. And then they had touching each other for years, until just recently. And like, engaged them and
I'm sorry, I'm having a very hard time hearing you. Can you make sure that you're
truck driver.
Yeah.
And recently, since he's been around the side, now he went to bars and just the other night and told us that he wants to get his home. I told everybody that I've been drinking something that was probably and I think probably but I don't know if this is a conversation.
Yeah. Right. So, okay, so his friend was being inappropriate to you.
Yeah, for example, my husband had to go check out, or he had to go check out because it was his birthday and his girlfriend was checking out. He wanted me to see him, so I really wanted to know that I went to conversation with him so much because I was trying to put his back on my shirt and down my crotch. And I told him to stop, and I got upset. My partner didn't really do much about it. He just contentious so he could do something wrong. So then, he took silent shooter on my husband and said, "Not after that." He was keep talking to him and told the truth of his best ever. And eventually, came with the doctor and stuff like that. He doesn't work. He just won't work. He's not trusting to this guy that
So basically, he took the side of his friend, basically.
are drinking. She's another designer in art. That she got me under halfway over Mr. Halfway last year. And we got her to the side of the Facebook job. Something that works with from now. I'm not sure.
Um, how long has it been since you guys have spoken? And how long were you guys together? And is this the first breakup, or has there been off and on? Uh,
And now he's doing this other thing. Kind of crazy metal. We won't have children. Grandpa.
you have children with him?
No, not that
Well, the answer really in love is always to kind of let go. You can't, at the end of the day, you can't force someone,
Yeah, I know. But he's telling me one thing and he's telling others different. That's what we get very confusing. Because a few people have confronted him because of some of the stuff he's doing. Because telling us it's been on the wrong mind. And then it's on the wrong mind. Like I said, and it's his wife and probably moving her broke up. So,
Yeah.
we don't have to make sure we get anything to say or anything off the cut. I
Well,
don't know if you can see something to discuss.
I just feel as though, and you said that this person does like drink and does things like that.
My man normally never drinks, but once in a blue freaking moon. But whenever he was around Ryan, this guy is his friend Ryan, beforehand he used to be the one getting the guy out of jail out of the bars all the time because he was too drunk. He used to be at the bars with this guy until we got together and then he quit doing all that.
Yeah.
And this Ryan guy has a way of manipulating them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds like he's in business with this guy. So, like I said, there's not much that you could expect. I wouldn't put depression past him because anytime you're involved with alcohol, that tends to lower, your frequency. So, yeah.
So I don't know if I should just, some people that were both living in Florida, say nothing, and then a couple weeks ago, the guy let people who were like doing that in their home. So I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, you need to ground yourself. You need to ground your energy so that, you're not overthinking this situation. And so that could be done with like meditation or, exercise, something like that, first and foremost, something so that you could get back in your own personal power and, not give your power away to this situation. Because if you let it, you will, waste time, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm wasting time trying to what's going on and what's this power taxes and all this other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the more that you work on yourself, you create space for him to come to you. But see, that's where it's complicated because even if he does start to come towards you, you don't want to necessarily just buy into him again, hook, line, and sinker, because he's going to have to really prove himself, when he comes back to you.
Yeah, the last few times he talked to me was because he needed me to take his cell phone notes. And then the other one was because his Facebook was almost something put a copy of the post that his brother's girlfriend was saying, I love you, babe, to my husband. So, that's the last time he talked to me, he has to go along.
Please hold. The caller has the opportunity to purchase more time through Quick Buy.
Okay. That was kind of crazy. And he has 4 cards. Like, what the fuck? Well, you leave me no choice. I have to try to fucking fight. Okay.
His wife, and my opinion of that is you should. You're talented, you work your way up, but you can't like enjoy it without having some, I think, inappropriate guilt. Or like it shouldn't be this way. The world is only what it is. We're always trying to better it, but just enjoy. And no, you shouldn't trade places with someone who's like not doing well. We should lift that person up. That doesn't mean we have to put ourselves down. Lift up the people who need lifting.
I agree with this entirely. I mean, absolutely agree with that.
Even the part where you're making yourself crazy for no reason. Really?
I'm open to that. I'm open to the fact that something.
Can I absolve you of that?
God, please.
There's no reason.
It's okay, I'm doing all right.
Absolutely. And your life hasn't been a picnic either. You've had some really trying times and all that addiction and, bad press. But, how old are you now?
47.
47. You're perfectly where you should be. I mean, and by the way, there's nothing you couldn't do at show business. I don't know. You must just not want. You must not want to, but you like doing what you're doing. You're a crusader. You don't have time to like get in spandex and you would be such an awesome. You're perfect for like the Marvel universe. I mean, you could be the villain. You could be the erudite man. You could be like something.
I have a calling, and like we discussed a joke about. Remember, this seems like an eternity ago when I was rifling through your rucksack in search of the mini model that you mentioned that I am a seeker. And when you say something like we should lift people up, I feel that there is no chance of that happening with the kind of entrenched systemic interests that we have now, because as they say in the circle I move in, it's not a bug, it's a feature. There is a requirement for endemic poverty. There is a requirement for an abandoned and suffering class of people. There is a requirement to distract us with conversations that will not alter the trajectory of ordinary people's lives. And you know what? I can't help it. I don't mean I can't help the situation. I'm sure I can make some small contribution. What I mean to say is that this appears to be the most organic expression of the drive that I've always done. I mean, you became you're an older limited stand-up comedians that will have breaks in various ways. And for me, the stand-up comedy seemed like, but this is the purest form. I can just get out there and say whatever I want, and you, I'm sure. I did it for nothing in clubs for a long, long time. I put my spots, I paid gigs, I did it. I got bottled on stage, I got dragged on
Me
stage.
too.
I had tough
And
times.
I'm so glad.
Isn't it great? It's so much the time.
So great. When people ask me, say, how do you do it stand-up? I always tell them, if you really want to know the truth, that you have this idea that there's so much pain, sad clowns, where you take, there is a shitload of pain, but it's all like in the first few years. Then there's things that are not perfect, but it's that beginning where you're learning to be funny in front of people when you're not funny. I mean, you're probably where I get right away, because you just have a natural gift of the gab, and I mean, the fact that you don't I mean, I would love to see you live. You don't play in America, do you?
Yeah, I do that shit. I do. I've not been here for a while, but I do like gigs. I'm not when I talk to Roland, he says you should it's a duty to do the clubs and stuff. And I'm stand-up says, I worked hard to get that audience, and now I'm going to play to them. I'm going to play to people that love me, that come to see me because they want to hear what I've got to say rather than that agony of persuading these fuckers.
That's so funny. I mean, I've had the highest regard for Joe Rogan. I really do. I wish I could do his show more. I did it last year.
Yeah,
But that is such a Joe Rogan thing to say.
Facts about California energy policy. California shut down about 25% of local oil production in the last 4 years, and now imports 75% of the oil we use, mostly from foreign countries, resulting in even higher gas prices for working families. Learn more.
Hey, it's me, Richard Jefferson, and together we are on the road to millions. The only game show.
He's that kind of comic. I've known that comic since I started. There's a kind of comic which it's almost like we're in the army. Comics, and they're just very, they're very, and I get it. I mean, I love comedy too. I just don't have to, you gotta, when I started, there was a lot of rules. You gotta have 6 clean Tonight Show shots before you move to California. We had this template.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you have to get clean. So that's 30 minutes of very clean material, so you can do it on the Tonight Show. And then you get a sitcom. That was the thing we all wanted to be, a sitcom.
Yeah, that was the pathway. That was the route for the elite achieving comedy. I sometimes feel guilty again that I don't do that. You get out there and do them clubs, suffer a little bit, go out there and win them over, make sure that your opening fight is good and it's dutiful. Because I feel like Bill Burley would play anywhere and he would make it work, and Louis would play anywhere and he would make it work. Chappelle. I adore those contemporary American comics at the top rock, all of them guys. I suppose, for me, and I'd love to hear more about your contemporaries and how you came up and stuff. I feel like, for me, there's shamanism in stand-up comedy. There's a real ability to create beautiful feeling, to explode stuff, to explore incredible ideas. And I thought the reason I do movies and that stuff is because it's just hard not to. People offer you those things, but I've got to do that. For me, it's a world away from what I actually want to do. You're very lucky and of course diligent and fastidious to have carved out for yourself this position where you can operate in what seems to me to be your perfect environment. That's amazing, and it doesn't happen for very many comics. And of course, there are reasons that it's lucky.
HBO has been a great place. I mean, we survived for a while on ABC for 6 years even, but HBO really gets me, and I do well for them. So it's that rare marriage and they're genuinely nice people. They're people you can deal with. They sort of, for a long time, had it to themselves this mode of operation, which was to hire people to do shows and really leave them alone. And we trust you. Just do your thing, and we don't interfere a lot. And for a long time, they had that to themselves. Other networks were too stupid to do that. They wanted their network executives to always make notes and just too much meddling. And finally, the other ones got the hint that the real talent is always going to migrate to the place where they can be free. And HBO has had some bombs because they let somebody they trusted. We don't all hit 100,000, you know. We don't all get it, and that's okay. That's what art is, and sometimes it's failing. And when it's failing, it's thank God only failing for 13 weeks.
Yeah, I had my shot at that. I had to do a show on FX, but they gave me probably a little too much freedom. You know, I misused it and misspent it. Like, a little too
Well,
much.
that's their loss, really.
And where?
You should be on American TV every night.
Well, with the show I have now, I did this deal with Rumble and
you know,
live shows.
Exactly. You know,
It's amazing.
My kids don't even have TVs.
No,
It's
it's
an old media.
you're moving towards obsolescence, presumably other than in some particular, some manageable spaces I would assume. And what I have now, doing a show 5 days a week, streaming live, uncensored, tackling the ideal, appealing to an audience that I know are ultimately more open to sort of right-wing politics, but I do my best to
Hi, Firesides. Welcome.
Could happen at any moment. I've got goosebumps. Go. Monday Night Raw. Big one.
Reddit streams Monday Night Raw. Watch wrestling.ae.
flash effect, the impact had on the body of the tribal chief. Reigns spun in the opposite direction. And Cody looking to capitalize. Going back into the ring, Cody Rhodes. Someone with that weight belt. Ripped right across the back. But the official heard it. I believe he heard it, Cody. Yes! Pretty calm. Someone's gonna check it. So long out clock. Roman Reigns is alone. This is Cody's moment. But now Roman in possession of Cody's weight belt. This does not bode well for the American Nightmare. So you gotta give official DNA to the threat. Doing all he can to keep control of his neck. Cody with a tap. Oh my God! Oh my God! Crossroad! Crossroad! For the title! For the title! I can't get out of my way! This was Cody's chance! Cody delivering Crossroads to the tribal chief. The official counting 2 and not. This was Cody's chance! Official DNA to the threat. Doing all he American Nightmare. Now Roman in possession. Feel it. You can feel the WWE. Going now to the momentary window of opportunity. Solo being sent to the back. Oh, you can feel it. You can feel the WWE fans coming alive. This is Cody's moment. Now Roman in possession of Cody's weight belt. Feel it. You can feel the WWE fans coming alive. This is Cody's moment. Now Roman in possession of Cody's weight belt. This does not bode well for the American Nightmare. So you gotta give official DNA to the threat. Doing all he can to keep control This was Cody's chance. Cody delivering crossroads to the tribal chief. The official counting 2 9/10, but not 3. Roman remains. Over 81,000 just lost their collective breath. But there's still work to be done. The champion is down. Cody again. And Roman Reigns. A desperation jawbreaker and a headbutt. And now clubbing blow to the back of the neck. And Corey, you have to wonder if that was Cody Rhodes' only opportunity. Most superstars in this game never see an opportunity quite like the one Cody just had. And Cody took his best shot. Cody swung for the fences and connected. But he didn't get over the wall. Cody, caught by Roman. Roman knew it was coming. This is dangerous predicament now. For the American Nightmare, who lands on his feet. Uranagi! Cover off the rock bottom by Reigns. Cody, caught by Roman. Roman knew it was coming. This is dangerous predicament now. For the American Nightmare, who lands on his feet. Uranagi! Cover off the rock bottom by Reigns and a kick out by Cody and Tell. Take a look at this. Roman Reigns hoisting his challenger high into the air. Driving moves, nearly through the ring. But the toughest, the will of Cody Rhodes keeps him in this battle. But this is where Cody wanted to be. Cody is in the deep end with the great white shark. Does Rhodes have what it takes to finish the story, or will he fall like so many before him have? Roman back to his feet. Cody struggling as 81,000 plus look on it so far. Roman Reigns is locked. Roman Reigns is loaded. Superman punch, Cody knocks out. Kevin Ray over the yellow. Cody for the win. For the title. For the title. Oh my God, Roman did it again. Rhodes trying to psych himself back up, realizing how close Cody just was to achieving his dream, to finishing the story. And he delivered a Superman punch and delivered a pedigree to Reigns. How the hell did Roman kick out? Cody Rhodes is asking himself the same question, Cole. Cody, fired up, driven by every person in this crowd that wants a change, that wants a new champion, that wants Cody to realize his dream. Roman, this is wildly. How the hell did Roman kick out? They're finishing this. Rhodes trying to psych himself back up, realizing how close Cody just was to achieving his dream, to finishing the story. And he delivered a Superman punch and delivered a pedigree to Reigns. How the hell did Roman kick out? Cody Rhodes is asking himself the same question, Cole. Cody, fired up, driven by every person in this crowd that wants a change, that wants a new champion, believe it. Cody went for the disaster kick and rolled him down with a Superman punch. Cody Rhodes looking for the disaster kick and instead ate a Superman punch. The right hand of the champ. The right hand of God mode. This is the back. It's creeping in to the champion's mind. Roman Reigns has the same reaction that everybody here has, including you and me. He's ready to defeat. He's ready now. We have reminded Reigns that it's time. Which is fair. Coming up to the top. 1, 2. That's underneath again. Right.
Hi, still.
Hi, my name is Kira.
Hey, how's it going?
Kind of confusing. Okay. I'm calling about this guy. His name is Ken. We've worked together. We're like in the same social group. We're in the same social group at work, He finds me. We
Yes.
finally finally hooked up, and things are fine. I talked to him today, and we texted, and it was just casual. Then today, when I go over there with them, he goes to get, well, he didn't come over, basically. It's like kind of weird. Like, okay, I don't know if he feels like his mother, when he's starting to get too close. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. I don't know what do you see.
As far as, do you think he feels smothered?
Right, does he feel smothered, or is he scared to just actually go somewhere, or is it like he doesn't want me to think this is going to lead to a relationship, or whatever?
Okay, 1 second. Let me take a look for you. 1 second. So one of the red flags that I do see here is the 5 of Swords in the upright position. This is an energy of like, if pushed, push comes to shove, this can be like a quick ending, an unexpected ending. I do see the Lover's card here, which is a very intense energy. But at the same time, like I said, and I think you alluded to this earlier, this runs the risk of like him being scared off. So I just kind of wonder, if you do kind of push things, does that push him away? But it sounds like he's the one who's inviting you over. Is that correct?
I mean, we hooked up after we went out to the bar, but it was like long overdue. Basically, everybody wanted to hook up. The chemistry was there. I just did it. And
yeah, but that's kind of childish,
Right.
What's that?
I don't understand what's for us to be, it's just weird. Like we sit together every day at lunch. It's all 4 or 5 of us, and today he decides that he wants to just distance himself here. Just being himself, just being normal.
But that's the thing, is that that's not a normal situation. There's that phrase, you don't shit where you eat. That pertains to your coworkers. So, but this is like what you reap from the situation.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it's an awkward situation. It just is what it is. It's right on the nose. It's an awkward situation.
And I was the main one opposing it. That's what took so long, right? The body must have the main one, like, no, it's going to mess up the friendship. It's going to mess up the friendship. You right before we did it. It's going to mess up the friendship, and I was saying.
Yeah, well, it's not even about the friendship. It's just it's a compromised situation. So yeah, I mean, I don't like the fact that I do see this energy of like cutting ties here. I would let him sit by himself. I would let him do whatever he feels that he needs to do to distance himself from the situation.
But it's weird because it's like, is he really distancing himself?
Well, again, I think that you're trying to find some sort of like rationale, but we're not dealing with a rational situation. We're dealing with an emotional situation. So let's like extend this just to see how much there's really not any logic or reason behind it. Like, you've heard of instances where people are in a relationship, they're coworkers, and then they come home to each other. So he gets to actually pick when he wants to distance himself. So if he wants to distance himself at work, he has that right. And if he wants to be all up on you texting, then he has that right. I just think it's a compromised situation. I don't ever like, situations where you're hooking up out of relationship, out of a formal title, because then you're essentially giving the other person the power. And then it's just compromise because it's let's see. I would say I think it's done before it starts. I don't think that, because I don't see like a title being put on this, So I'm not saying that it's all like a crapshoot. I'm not saying that it's like whatever, but I just don't see a title being put on it. So you could kind of extend this current situation, but I don't see it leading to a relationship. Well, I think it's best to not scare him away, because I think that women, like, they want to jump into like physical, or maybe let's not say women, but let's say people, they get physical and then they want to put a title on it. You're putting the cart before the horse. You're doing it backwards. But think about it. It's the context of the situation. It's the context of the situation, because now this is the elephant in the room. Is the big question: is this going to lead to anywhere? So I would just say, if you want it to lead to somewhere, just don't push it. Just don't. And I'm not saying that you are pushing it. I'm just saying that it has to be his decision. At the end of the day, and I know I'm just saying love, just in generalities, but let's say relationship. It's a free will. It's a two-way street. It has to be from free will. So it's just best advice is to not. I wouldn't acknowledge the fact that he's being weird. I just think it's a compromised situation, so he's allowed to act that way. So, okay, thank you. Have a good one. Trying to talk you out of it. Let me see. Give me a second. One second. Let's see. I'm not seeing, so no, I'm not getting the feel for like talking out of it, or my first thought was like a counter offer, but I'm not really seeing that here. So I would say no. I didn't say that. But it depends on what like how you mean. You know, I do see someone emotionally invested here with the Ace of Cups in reverse. To me, this is about emotional investment, so I can't just say blatantly you wouldn't care. I just feel as though things, when it comes to business, you know, that's one thing versus like an interpersonal business relationship. I do feel that he would care, but I'm not seeing like a counter offer. So it just depends on how you mean care. You know, if you want him to talk you out of it, do you want him to counter offer? What do you know? Hmm. Let's see. I'm not really seeing that, to be honest. No. Yeah. And I'm wondering, are you wanting to leave because of his demeanor towards you? Because, or is this just a coincidence, like coinciding events? So overall, just over the arc of your working with him. Well, I feel as though that, and would you ever consider broaching that with him first and foremost, or are you just more so back into the corner where you rather leave? And is there something that like in HR could get involved with, or is that out of the question? Well, I think it would do a lot because I do see like the different rankings here. So I do feel as though that a call to or reaching out to a higher up HR personnel or someone who's of that position, I think that that person could kind of shed some light onto him and bring to his awareness, how he's coming across. I think there's always a diplomatic way of handling something like this. So yeah, I think that there would be a positive reaction to that. Are you? Are there other factors? Like, are you in the market? Are you looking for like? Is it salary? Is it direction? Or is it more so just this interpersonal? Well, it depends on the context. Like theoretically, would he know that you're leaving because of his demeanor? It's like you're. Let me see. I just don't feel like that. I don't think that that's like a. I don't know that that's necessarily professional. I think that that becomes. Yeah, but then from my experience, I just feel like that would require more of like a third party mediator, um, as opposed to just between the two of you, and then you have one foot out the door, and then it's like, what do you want the objective kind of security with HR involvement, or do you want it just to be between the two of you? Because I feel like those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, mm, let me see. I'm not really getting that. Mm, no, I'm not getting that. No. But because it sounds like you want like his interpersonal respect, or you want him to care, and I'm just wondering, is that crossing the line of from business to personal? You know, I would argue that, but I mean, just as far as like the interpersonal stuff, but um, yeah. All right. Thank you. Good night. Yep. Bye. Ay, Dios míos, ¿qué estás haciendo? I know Spanish, but I know my mama's kind of Spanish. Like, ay, Dios míos, ¿qué estás haciendo? What? Just about safe. Alright, next process.
Doing his best to shift the momentum, reverse the pressure on the right arm, the one over the belly. Looks for a reverse the pressure, he goes for snap. And now it's Cody, who's an negative. Trying to drag it along, and he does. Clean. Exhaustion. Exhaustion. Agony. Rose doing his best to settle himself up once again, saying, "Come on, Cody, fight it." Let's go through the line and maybe 1,000 plus here tonight. Are they going to see history in the making? Will Roman's reign continue? Will Cody Rhodes do something that his legendary father was never able to accomplish? Will this be a true Hollywood moment for Cody Rhodes? Put it into the body to get the upper hand, and you can hear SoFi Stadium all experiencing the same emotional roller coaster we are. Hung up, now put it into the body to get the upper hand, and you can hear SoFi Stadium all experiencing the same emotional roller coaster we are. Hung up, now Cody on the top rope, the champ Cody Rhodes lands at his feet. Dude, if Roman does some unbelievable things. And Cody Rhodes is feeding on emotion right now. Emotion and about 81,000 members of the WWE Universe here in Los Angeles. Roman in the midst of one of the most incredible championship runs in the history of sports entertainment. Cody Rhodes looking to end that tonight in spectacular fashion. Cody wants to change the course of history. You have to imagine that Cody Rhodes may be out of gas. Now the tribal chief is angry. He's giving the signal. This is where it ends. And Roman going for a guillotine. The submission hold has taken out so many during this title reign. Cody already flailing, trying to get out of the clutches of the tribal chief. And Cody hanging on to the clutches. It's almost impossible. We're able to try to turn this guillotine around. Fans making Rhodes fade. In the middle of the ring, Cody's fading. Cody's down to a knee. Cody Rhodes is fading. Roman Reigns is closing in. Cody keeps the arm up. Cody's alive. Cody is still in it. But for how long? Cody's fighting back. And now Roman grabs the legs. The body lock of pride in the guillotine. This is where the story ends. The constrictor lock of Roman Reigns with the guillotine on Rhodes. Cody is fading. Roman Reigns. Cody's trying to use. Cody can get down team. Oh my God, he's broken the guillotine. Everybody was ever broken the guillotine. After Cody Rhodes has. And then comes Cody. Cody raining down rights on Roman. The perspiration on a tribal chief. Oh no! Superman punch. Cody holds that down. The referee is out. Now what do you do? I have no idea. Hush. It's all over the stage in this raucous crowd. Watching under disbelief. Maybe realizing that Cody just squandered his best opportunity. And it wasn't Cody's fault. But I get the point. Cody's still suffering the effects of the guillotine. Cody, the first competitor, back to his feet. What is it up and fishing? Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Are you surprised? Where the hell did they come from? I'm not surprised at all. Everyone's been talking about the demise of the bloodline. What? Damn it, somebody get the hell out of the way. Where Reigns goes, the bloodline follows. Oh my God! Owens, Jerry, the tag team champions! Owens and Vader here! Fighting up the Usos! Even the numbers! Jimmy DJ coach. And now it's a playback for Sammy and Trio. Stop. No. How sweet it is. J&J re-entering the play, finding it outside. The ball continues. Oh, meanwhile, Cody and Roman are down in the middle of the ring. The tribal chief just suffered a stunner from a lubricant by Zayn, and now slowly, but surely, Roman is coming back. The official's back. The referee's back. Cody's gonna kill him. Damn it, he's gonna kill him. Cody's gonna kill him. Dominate. And our minute continues. All Heyman is all of us right now. Cody desperately trampling one across a fallen Roman. With legs kicked out again. I don't even know what else to say. Cody's
Hey, hello, how's it going? How are you doing? Let me know if you could see me. I'm gonna try to bring the light over. I don't know if you want to talk on the phone or talk like this. Let me know. Hello? Hey, how's it going? All right, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing okay. I'm just relaxing right now. The way my lifestyle. Oh yeah, I know. The way. Yeah. I was wondering. Thank you so much for sending that. I didn't check to see if I got it, but thank you. I trust your word. Yeah. Oh my God, so much. Thank you. So as far as like his son, does his son stay with you or no? Uh-huh. Uh, yeah. And is his son older or? Oh, okay. So they're. Yeah. Let me see. And who does his son stay with? Because I'm assuming he's off. Uh, yeah. And so right now he's out of the country working. Yeah. I remember you said that last time. Ukraine. Let me see what comes out for that. Let's see here. Yeah. 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 Well, because so if he's saying if he accidentally said his son's name, I mean, it doesn't mean that he was, you know, necessarily talking to another woman. Is that what you think? You think that because he slipped up? Yeah. Well, I don't really see that. I don't see another woman. I'm getting a strong energy. The Ten of Pentacles in the upright. This is a strong energy of family, of the household. Um, and, I think that this person is just, well, I think that he feels a lot of, security and calmness when he's able to talk to you. I think that, it's a very bright, spot in his day when he's able to talk to you on the phone. So, because this Four of Pentacles, this represents security and stability. So, I'm sure he has a lot of stress with his work. Um, yeah, yeah, wow, really, wow, hmm, yeah. Let me see here. Let's see here. Hmm. Yeah, me too. Yeah, likewise. Yeah, it's nice to hear you. Yeah. So for me, I do see the truth. I see that he speaks the truth here. This is the card of justice. So this is like fairness and order. Um, this devil card in the reverse, this is coming out of, not knowing what's going to happen or not knowing what's going to become of me. So I feel as though that he's getting this information, and so this is, the information that he has is this opportunity. That's what this Ace of Pentacle is. This is an opportunity. So I think, yeah, I believe him when he says that. Um, in that time. Um, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like homesick, homesick. Yeah, yeah. So he's going through like a rough patch because he's hearing, on the one hand, he's hearing this about his son who's sick, and then on the other hand, he's finding out, yeah, he's finding out about you, and then he's finding out he has to work more. So it's kind of all hitting him at once. Yeah. Well, yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm really not seeing, the energy of something to worry about as far as him talking to someone else. I think that it's really just work related. These energies here that I see, this is about giving energy and attention to someone else, but then you have the work, this is about work. So to me, I'm not suspicious. I don't think it's a matter of having all these different emotional connections. You see, the only emotional connection that I see here is this. This is walking away, though, from, I feel, his work, because these represent something that is established, these cups here on the ground. But this is him walking away. And I think those are the feelings of he's already walking away from his work. He's checked out, um, and so now he's having to adjust. But it would be, yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, yeah. So, but didn't you say that he was gonna try to retire, or does it sound like he's gonna keep on? Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. The money. Yeah, 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 yeah. So he's thinking like retirement and vacation or yeah. So after this 3 months, then it sounds like he's gonna go back again. Like he's gonna go keep on living that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I feel like that's a big kind of commitment because even as the spouse or the significant other of somebody like that, I mean that's a lot. Do you think about that? About 1 month on with him and then 2 months away from him. You know? Yeah. 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 Yeah, but yeah, I just, is that what you want for yourself, for the foreseeable future? You said why not? Yeah. Yeah. Do you, well, well, it depends. Are you asking about like right now, or are you asking like in life in general? Yeah. 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 Uh, yeah. Yeah. Well, my first instinct, and I could look at the cards too, obviously, but my first instinct, and can you tell me again, refresh my memory, how long have you been with Francis, like in this kind of communication? Oh, it's been like, but how long have you been like very emotionally connected and close to him? 5 years? Yeah. But all those 4 years, the first 4 years, it was all over the phone, over video. Yeah. See, that's what makes me feel different about it is because, you know, I feel like he should want to see you, you know, within that time already, and that's a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a cause for concern, I feel because, first off, I feel like you could do better, just naturally, normally. I mean, I feel like anytime you go for somebody who's in your same hometown or in person with you, I feel like that's always going to be, and that's nothing against him. That's nothing against the emotional connection. I think that that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful form of a relationship. But I, yeah. Yeah. I think you choose somebody who's local. You know, I think you choose someone. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to do it like that. You could do it where you have an emotional connection, but then you have the physical connection. You know, everything. And so my thing is like, you know, well, I just feel as though that he's giving you all of the communication and the emotion. Oh yeah. So you feel it was like a yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a form of power is to be able to feel so deeply. But that's why I feel as though, and again, I'm not trying to argue to to break this man's heart or do anything, the wrong way, but I just feel like, you know, it's been 4 years. It's been 4 years and then another 3 months, you know? Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. I'm not seeing anything saying that he's lying to you. I'm not seeing that. Yeah, but it sounds very terrible and extreme that so the child's mother abandoned him and the husband or the father. But then that's what it's saying. I mean, that's what it's saying here. I'm not seeing anything that says different. So, but does he? So, is in his mind, is that his blood son? Is that his biological son that he knows of? Oh, okay. So you're asking if that's his biological son. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Let me see. Let's see. See, I wonder now, because I wonder that if that's his biological son now, and he's never spoken of a test, like taking a paternity test. Yeah, it might not be, but see, there's two different levels of the question because, on the one hand, did he raise the son? So he was a parent. He was a parent. He was a parent to them. Yeah, yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Yeah. Well, but it also depends. I mean, and how long have you known? You've known this person. You've known Francis total for like 5 years. Well, yeah. Well, that's a rough one. And the mom is nowhere in the son's life, correct? Yeah, yeah. Let me see. See, I don't know if that's his biological son. That's why I'm getting this kind of question here. Especially, yeah, 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 yeah. Because if she's already sleeping with the best friend, you know, Yeah. Duty. Yeah. 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 Well, I'll tell you what. That means he was not, being careful when he was having sex with that woman, because if he could have the idea that that could be his son, then that means that they're not using protection or nothing like that. And then guess what? She was probably doing the same thing with her best friend. So, in a way, it's like you can't really some water. In a way, you can't really, say anything against that, because in his mind, he probably thought that he got that in her pregnant. But he should have made her take like a DNA test, a pregnancy test, or something like that. But he probably. Yeah. Who makes more money? Francis? Oh, the best friend. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, you're like afraid of the relationship? Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I do feel that work is a big distraction for him, and it helps him not have to face real life. And it's like when you go away to camp or something like that. Like that is like your getaway from real life. Well, him now he's always away at camp, and then so that becomes his real life. So then when he feels like he's not doing that anymore, then now regular life feels estranged to him. It doesn't feel like regular life. For him, he's indoctrinated. Everything feels regular when he's working. You know, they say, I heard once that they say that the famous 20th century psychologist Freud, he said that all there is work and love for man. There's only work and love. And if your heart is broken, well, then that only leaves work, you know? So, and this is the energy of coming out of heartbreak, and this is in upside down, in the reverse. So, and then this is coming out of worry, coming out of overthinking. And so when he's away at work, he doesn't have to think about it anymore. Whereas I feel as though that, yeah, when he's at home, this is conflict, this is competition. Um, it's kind of ironic because it's more conflict when he's at home. Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, is he Latino or is he? What is he? What's his? Oh yeah. Wow. Oh my. Yeah. 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 And so I wonder that, you know, yeah, I wonder that, his work has probably been everything for him, his family and his getaway from, escaping all that heartbreak. And then you have this thing happen with the woman and the kid and his best friend. So, but my thing is that I still think that it comes back to you, like it's a tough one because on the one hand, I don't feel as though that you should have to wait. But on the other hand, I understand the emotional bond and the emotional connection. You know, and how long does he expect to do that? Did he give you like an expectation for how much? To answer, yes, I do see that he could do that. I think that he could do that. Look at he's holding on. He's holding on to the 1 month that he's with you, and these are the other months on his mind and under his feet. And he's holding on to the 1 month. Those are the 4 months. But my thing is like, even then, it's like I let's see. I feel, yeah, I think so, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I still think. And did he say how long he would do the 1 month to and 3 months away? Did he give you a? But I'm saying that let's say he does that. Let's say he comes back in 3 months, stays for a month, and then goes back 3 months, right? How long? How many years is he going to do that? That's my question. Did he tell you how long he expects to do that? Or no, you haven't talked about it. So you're saying that he still plans on doing this until, and how old is he? Oh, okay. So when you say career, like we're talking like the next like 15 years, 20 years, right? But that's what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying that how much time he has left in his career. What, like another 15, 20 years? But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying is, but Angel, listen to what I'm saying. How many years does he expect to do this? Did he tell you? Yes or no? Okay. So no, he didn't say. Okay, so this could go on. This could go on forever. Let's just say this could go on forever because you don't know, and it might as well go on forever. Let's say it goes on for the next 4 years. Can you do that? Can you put up with that? That's the question. Yes or no? I want you to honestly. What's your heart decision? Well, I'm saying I don't I feel like you have to look. Have you been talking to other people? Have you been looking around for anyone else? You're not on like the dating apps or anything like that? I would get on like the dating apps. Everything is on the online. Like I would do that. I would try to like at least look, right? Or no? Or you feel like that's cheating? Are you? But you feel like that would you feel like that would be cheating if you were like looking for anyone else somewhere else, right? Or not? Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. See, I don't. I just feel like I think so. Cause and you said that he was younger than you, right? So you're older. Well, I just part of me feels like you don't want to, close yourself off from something better, you know, because I feel like, but like I said, it depends on the type of person that you are. If you feel like you don't need a lot of physical interaction and the person being there, then yeah, you could have this kind of a relationship. But if you're going to be, missing him and it's going to be hard on you, then this might not be the right thing, And so that's what I'm saying is that why would you put yourself through that? You could still, you know, And my thing is that like, just because his life is this way, he's choosing that. You don't have to, you know, come save him, or you don't have to take on his problems, you know. And so I just wonder, but if you feel like, I think so, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think it starts energetically that, you know, you start to pick up his emotions, and, you know, you said you felt this, you know, paranormal, like his presence and kiss and all that. So I just feel like, you know, maybe you interpreted that as a strong emotion. Yeah, yeah, because he wants both. He wants the emotional and he wants his career. He wants both. And the thing is that you can't have both in life if you're living that kind of life, because it's a non-traditional life. You said, I mean, how many people they go through? What, the military, or you said, oh, women? It sounds like, well, I mean, look, for if I was a if it was like me, the man, I was at home, and I had a woman who was in the military. Hell no, 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 no. I don't trust that woman as far as I could throw her. Hell no, I would not do that. That's not right. I don't think so. But if it's you know, but if it's if it's a you know, if it's the roles reversed, I still don't trust it. I still don't know if I trust it. And you know, it's less about, it becomes about the trust, but then also on top of it, it just becomes about the physical, the person being there, and then the emotion for me. And I'm like, and if you're in this, you know, 3 months gone, 1 month home, it's like you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And it's like you're never in this normalcy, this normal, you know, life. Yeah, I mean, but also at the same time, it's like I feel like there are examples where people can make it work, but that depends. Are you more like a person that doesn't need, you know, the affection and the person there every day? Yeah, yeah. So you're saying that you're used to that anyways, and this is better than nothing at all. Yeah, but you're saying that you're saying that you're used to not having that emotional part. So that's a yes. That's a yes. That's a yes. That's a yes to my question, because you're saying, yeah, because you're saying that you're divorced, and so you're used to not having someone there. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying no. There's the middle. There's the in between. Oh yeah, my mom is. I still think my mom is Virgin Mary. My mom was only with my dad. That's what she. Yeah, that's her, and I believe her when she says that. But so I don't know. Yeah, they're both alive. Yeah, but they don't get. I mean, they're so different from each other. My dad is so old school Mexican. You know, from Chicago. He was a butcher his whole career. He's retired, and my mom is like, you know, they. She's Mexican. But she speaks English, so people, she passes for white, and well, like me, I guess. So, but they're just complete opposites. She likes to talk and communicate, and he doesn't. He's very stubborn. But but I think about their relationship because now they're in the house together. Yeah. Oh, so you guys are in the same way, right? So you're still with him? What? But you're still in the same house? Wow. Wow. But is he with is and he's with other like you guys are in agreement or you don't know? You just don't know his business. Wow. But then as far as you two together, it's yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Wow. What about do you know Led Zeppelin from the 70s? I got a poster of them in my apartment. I love them. To me. Yeah. Yeah, I got Jimi Hendrix right here too. I got Bob Dylan. Those are my favorite. All those old guys. Yeah. No, no, no. But I used to listen to them a bunch when I was in high school, and we partied back then. But that's when I first heard them. Yeah. 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 Oh my god. And do people? No. And when you go to those concerts, are people like smoking and all that stuff? No. Yeah. Wow. I saw I saw Santana once in Chicago. I saw the Doors. They had, yeah. And of course, the lead singer passed away years and years. In the 60s and the 70s, he passed away. But they had a different singer, and I think they still had the same keyboardist. I think he passed too. But yeah, I love all those old guys, all those old songs. But yeah, I mean, that's so fascinating that you're saying the living setup between you and your ex-husband, because I do feel as though that my parents are living the same way. It's not to the extent, I think that they're still close, that they're still, closer, but you know, yeah, 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 yeah. I don't drive. I gotta tell you something about myself. I don't drive. I never got into driving. That's like one thing that I've never. It sounds so crazy because it's so normal. Like everyone drives now. I swear I don't. I never. Yeah, stick shift. Wow. Yeah. Oh my god. You got to teach me how to drive. How to drive stick. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Wow. You live a more exciting life than I do. I'm sober. I've been sober for years now, for like 3 years. So I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do nothing anymore. I used to a lot though. Before, yeah, yeah, mm, mm. Wow, wow. So you don't like do anything for him anymore. You don't like cook or you don't do nothing. Wow. Oh my god. My parents, my mom still does all of those little like nice things for my dad, even though my dad is kind of a shithead. So, you know, but yeah, I don't know how they do that, but they still live together and they're like, separate bedrooms, like you said. But they still are somewhat close somehow, some way. Yeah. Wow. Uh, yeah. No, it sounds familiar though. How far did you say you are from LA or like Hollywood? Because you said you're north, I think. An hour and a half. Oh, yeah, I'm not familiar with the area, so I have to look at the maps and stuff. Wow, that's what it's called though? High desert? That's what it's called. Oh, you're saying it is. What's the city name? Oh, Victorville. Wow. Yeah. I'm looking at it. Wow. Oh wow, Victorville. I can see it on the map. Wow. It's like Hesperia is by there. Wow. That's cool. There's so many places. I like little like nowhere towns. Like no. But I've been my ex girlfriend. We went to like I think it was like Palm Desert or Palm Springs or whatever. There was like a wedding, her friend's wedding there. Her best friend. I went there. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember which one we because I know there's like Palm Desert. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, because yeah, I think we went to Palm Springs, and I know Palm Desert is right by Palm Springs. That's why I get them both confused. But yeah, we went there. We went there for a wedding, for her best friend's wedding, and then actually we drove. Well, she drove because I don't drive. Remember? We drove to Phoenix. No, we drove. We drove to New Mexico, but we drove through Phoenix. We stayed in Phoenix for a day. We got an Airbnb, and then we drove to. She had a writers' retreat in this place by Albuquerque, New Mexico. This place called Taos. So it was beautiful driving through. New Mexico is way more beautiful than. Oh my God! I was like, yeah. Yeah, and she hated that. She would like yell at me that I wouldn't drive. And she expected me to drive like in like 5 o'clock traffic, like on a highway going wherever I don't know where we're going. But I yeah. I'm yeah. What kind of car? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What is that, a Toyota? Toyota Tundra? Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I want to live like in the middle of nowhere. Like that's my dream, like a very small like desert town somewhere. Maybe they got like a PF Chang's or like a like just nothing, or like a Top Golf or something. Well, I relocated here from Chicago with my first girlfriend at the time. And then that didn't work out, and then all this other shit happened. I tried to help family come live out here, and then they ended up kind of just like, not being able to carry their fair share. And then I met my second girlfriend, Casey, but then she broke my heart. It was bad. I mean, yeah, Yeah. Yeah. It was. Yeah. 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 But I still don't think that you should be caught up in his I don't know, but it's yeah, I can see why, you're making that connection. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah. Well, this most recent one was bad. I mean, I'll tell you how bad it is. I'm still okay. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but okay, no, well, yeah. Well, I mean, now it's better. It's better now, but um, wait. Let me see for the vacation now. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening. Yeah, I could see vacation and doing things like that with him. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening. Yeah. I was gonna say, because look, this is like carefree travel, and then this is his energy, but he's like this because he's worked to the bone. This is somebody who's overworked. So, like, um, well, no, I was just gonna say, this is like no more work. This is like no more effort, no more action. So this is good because this cancels out this, and you're left with fun, spending time together, flirtatious communication. So that's the energy that he's talking about, and that's the one. This is you, and that's the one that you're. Well, and this is him too. But this is you're jumping to that energy of that fun communication. It's called the Eight of Wands. Um, but and then that popped up. That was him. Remember, we said that was him from earlier. He's favoring that. Yeah. And so, yeah, I do. I see that. I see that, that you could do that with the vacation and spending time together. And yeah, I was just looking for the Eight of Wands so I could show you how it looks. But it's cool because you could add the cards together and they make they make up the other cards. So I call it math. It's tarot math. But yeah, I could see that definitely happening. But yeah, so I digress. But I was going to tell you how this girl broke my heart. Um, well, so we moved in together. Oh my God. Don't feel bad, but at the same time, don't feel bad, but at the same time, it was rough. We moved in together. And this is where, you're young, you make dumb decisions. We moved in together like really fast after the first 3 months here. This is the card that that I was looking for. So these two together, this is the 9 minus the 1 because it's in the reverse. So you subtract. That leaves you with the number 8. And this is about communication, action, fun. It's a very fun, flirtatious card. Yes. Yes. Because it came out earlier, and that was when you were like, oh, I'm going to back off. It came out upside down. And then that's when he was all sad and like, no, don't stop talking to me because then, but that's you, protecting yourself. Yeah.
I'm different. What happened?
What was that?
What happened?